Gabe Singer is with me today, and I can't think of a better way to end my week than to talk with you, because talking with someone young and an entrepreneur, and it's just so exciting. But the best part of it is that you have come up with what I call turning lemons into lemonade. It's really how I look at it. You just told me something I didn't know, and that was that you were with my son last summer on his trip to Alaska. And like I said, when you're the mom of a counselor, you don't necessarily know all the kids. You see great pictures, and you hope that your own child is having a good time and taking care of everyone. But I have to say that of all the summers my son had, I know that last summer he laid it all out there and had like a great time with you guys. But the summer is this year, the end of the year, this summer has been like no other. So just starting with the fact that, Gabe, you are actually a true camper, someone who went to Tamarack, hung off cliffs on the Western trip, swung at salmon fishing. I know what you did. I don't know everything, I should say that, but you really, now what you've done is really said, what am I going to do this summer, and what am I going to do to make other people's summer special? And so let's start there. What were you going to do this summer, you personally?
So this summer, me along with a lot of my closest friends who I had been with on the Alaska trip, we were planning on going to Israel. And so obviously when that got canceled, we were all super bummed out. But we understood that there was a lot of opportunity now. A lot of the youth, a lot of the people all around our community, all of their summer activities were now not going to be able to happen. Mm-hmm. So we understood that there is a significant market for people that are looking to have summer activities, and we understood that we know what kids want, and so we know we can provide that.
So you came up with what? What was your idea?
So originally the idea was some sort of basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. I've been playing basketball. I played basketball throughout my whole life, and then I started coaching it as I got older. And so my original idea was to start a basketball camp. And so I talked to a few friends about it who were interested in helping me out. And then we were starting to think about gym access and a few logistical things, and realized that it probably wasn't going to work out. Mm-hmm. So then me and my friend Jacob Alanowski decided to shift this idea into a local sports camp in the neighborhood. And so that's where we came up with our idea, Summer Adventures, which is a week, Monday through Thursday, of sports and water and all fun related activities for kids 9 through 12.
So we're going to talk about what the day looks like, but I'm going to point out that you were sold out right away.
Yeah. So as soon as we posted it on Facebook and got the word out, the first 2 weeks, it took us a little bit by surprise that within the first probably 2 hours, we were sold out for the first 2 weeks.
So let's talk about the day. Kids, what are the ages? What happens when they arrive?
So the age range varies depending on the week, but it's ages 9 to 12, and it's a pretty even split of ages, which is what we were going for. That's what we want. And so they'll drop off and pick up are both at my house. And depending on the day, depending on our activities, we will either stay at our house in the backyard, front yard, or we will be walking to Lone Pine, which is our local elementary school that is about a 4-minute walk from our house. And so we'll be playing capture the flag football, pick up basketball, relay races, water balloon toss, all sorts of fun activities that we know that when we were their age, we would have totally had fun doing.
How many kids in a session?
So it's funny. So at the beginning, we were like, we want to make sure we're from 8 to 10 kids. And as the interest started to build up, we're like, all right, let's move it back a little bit. And so for the first 2 weeks, we were at 16 kids, 3 staff, and it went great, totally perfect. And so next week we are doing 24 kids, 5 staff. And then from there, we are still deciding the figuring out the final numbers, but it'll be somewhere between 16 to 24.
That's fantastic. And I think that what really is happening is you're giving kids an opportunity to have back their summer. You're getting them during this time period off their electronics, because as we know, there's a whole lot of Netflix, Amazon Prime, they're gaming, and this gives them an opportunity to get up off the couch, get some activity going. They can, after 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, get back on their electronics.
Mhm.
But really, you're giving them back some summer in their sports. They bring a lunch. What happens
So
there?
we provide a snack and popsicles and chips and all that. And Monday through Wednesday, they're going to bring a lunch. And then on Thursdays, we provide pizza for them.
So how many sessions do you plan on having this go?
So we have 5 sessions that are booked right now. And then we're still planning out the rest of the summer after that, but we hope to do it the rest of the summer. And we hope to do a few weeks of maybe 13 and 14-year-olds and a few weeks of 7 and 8-year-olds, so that we get the full variation of ages within our neighborhood.
So, and how are you letting people know about your camp?
So a lot of our goal was to have not only to have the campers get the initial group that we had sign up through my mom and Jacob's mom's Facebook posts, but to have a lot of returning campers, because that showed that first off, they had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And second off, that we're not going to be able to, we're not going to run it twice and then be done. And so a lot of our sessions that are coming back are returning campers, which was a big part of how we were able to fill those further sessions. And we understand that a lot of the marketing is from word of mouth, because one kid has a great time. He tells his 3 buddies that they had a great time, or that he had a great time at this camp. And now we got 4 more kids. And so that's been a lot of our strategy, which also goes back to, we tried to keep an affordable price point so that parents are willing to send them back for 2, 3, 4 sessions.
So I'm so impressed by your marketing strategy. It's what I do for a living. And I was so impressed when I first saw the post, and impressed with the sold out and the sessions added. It caught my attention right away. I did immediately send a message to your mom that I wanted to talk to you. And that was really one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you. It inspired me to talk to someone who is a rising senior in high school. It shows me that you got it. You got it right away, that you saw a need in the community. If it were me, I'm a lifelong camper. I'd want to sit in my room and cry all summer. I wanted to cry for all of you young adults who your summers were taken away. But the truth of the matter is, you guys, so many of you have figured out, really how to make a great summer. And to be honest, really selflessly, this isn't about you. This is really about the campers that you're doing something for. This isn't about you. I mean, this is a business you created, but a lot of people could be doing something for themselves. You're out there working with young kids who had their camps taken away. There's very few camps that are open. Mm. So it's very impressive, and you should be commended. And your marketing strategy of word of mouth is fabulous. It's one of the things that is super important in a community and local business. So, hats off. I hope that, today talking, a lot of people will see this and like you said, have a friend tell a friend. You're going into your senior year in Bloomfield. Yeah. And they're starting to just lay out what the year is going to look like. Let's talk about you a little bit. Are you excited, nervous, what your senior year is going to look like?
So I have a little bit of mixed feelings. Obviously, I was looking forward to sort of a traditional senior year where you get to do homecoming and prom and all of that fun stuff. But having said that, going to school twice a week on my senior year, like I really can't complain. I mean, if I'm going to be able to have a 6-day or 5-day weekend every week of my senior year, I'll make do. It'll be all right.
Yeah. So have you gone through all your ACT testing and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I was lucky to be able to finish that early so that during all of this, it wasn't a worry.
I am sure you have, because you have that, I can see you have that entrepreneur spirit in you. And I'm sure, when you get to hear from colleges, you're going to be on your way. Do you have some idea of what you think you might want to do in life?
Yeah.
Do you get that? Do you get that a lot? I mean, here, you need another mother asking you that.
I don't know. I have a lot of interests, a lot of passions. So I like to write. I like journalism. I like people. So I like communications, but I like business too. So it's still up in the air.
That's fantastic. What's the feedback been from the kids at the sport? And is it just boys so far? It's just been.
So far, we have just boys. Yeah.
Okay. What's the feedback been like? What are they liking best about their day?
So for a lot of them, they just like to be able to get out of the house and just spend time with their friends, which is we totally understand. And that's what we were trying to provide. And then a lot of them, they like to compete. And so they like to just, whatever it is, no matter what it is, if you put a competition in front of them, they're happy. Yeah. And so we try to cater to both the people that are super competitive, like I was, which was always into sports, always wanted to play the next sport. And then the kids that are just there to have a fun time and just to mess around. And so we're trying to find the balance of what kids want and what we wanted when we were kids. And so that's kind of our mission.
So both my boys worked, besides going to camp, they worked at camps. And I do remember one of my sons had a essay that he wrote about on his college admission working in a Detroit camp. And some of the things that happened, it became one of his essay question. It was one of his essay questions. What do you do? How do you handle when conflict arises? I mean, and when you put boys together and they compete, conflict happens.
Right. So we've kind of figured out over the past 2 weeks that it's inevitable, no matter what we do, no matter what we try to do, no matter how we make teams. Conflict can happen. We understand that. We were the kids that were sitting there arguing 5 years ago. Sure. So we totally understand that. And so what we try to do is, first off, just try to de-escalate the situation as soon as the conflict arises, which means removing the people that were involved from the situation, removing them so that they get a chance, because in the heat of the moment, you may say some things, you may do some things that really you don't intend to do. And it was just a heat of the moment thing that you don't really believe in. And so we try to de-escalate the situation by removing people from the situation so that none of that happens. And then after a few minutes, once they their emotions simmer down, we'll sit them down, we'll talk about what happened, and then we will move on from there. But usually with boys playing sports, it'll be just after 5 minutes, everything's okay. On to the next activity.
They just want to win.
Right.
They just want. So is there anything else you want to tell everybody about? When are the next sessions? Let's talk about the next sessions.
So session C starts next week, and then D and E are the following weeks after that. And
are the sessions 2 weeks each?
1 week session.
1 week sessions. Okay. Yeah.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're there.
All right.
So as we all have learned in the pandemic world, we all freeze and we all have lovely days of technology. So let's go back. The sessions.
So it's 4-day sessions, Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
And we are pretty much booked for next week, the week after, and the week after that.
Okay.
And so then from there, we're meeting today, but we're going to decide our plans for the rest of the summer. And we hope to maybe incorporate different age groups for the rest of the summer. So it's to be determined, but that's our plan.
It sounds like you're going to be booked until the senior year starts, which will make, it sounds like it's going to make everyone really happy. How do people find you so they know what sessions might be open, or if there's even a few spots that they can get themselves into?
So we have a website. It's a really long Wix URL,
Okay.
but it's mainly it's just been like we said, a word of mouth. It's just been sent from people to people to people, and so
Okay.
that's kind of how it's been circulating. And so that's currently what we that's how people have found out about us and then found out
So
about the
should they
show.
go to the Facebook page or?
Yeah, so to find it, it's a really long link, but you can find it on we have a Facebook page, so you can find it on the Facebook page. It's Summer Adventures on Facebook,
Okay.
and it's linked
So,
on the Facebook.
okay. So I would send everyone to Summer Adventures on Facebook, and then from there, they'll be able to find
The link.
the
From
link to the website. And I love that because you get these long Wix because you guys put it up, you did it yourself. And that's what startup businesses are, and word of mouth and marketing. And you guys did a great job. And just keep at it, because having a sold out camp tells you the demand. And I think it's awesome. I think you're doing an amazing job. Be really proud of yourself, because you really found something that people were looking for this summer, and they're having a good time. And I hope you guys are having a good time too, because let's face it, you'd be, climbing Masada at 110 degrees. And, the good news is you'll be able to go on birthright one day.
Mhm.
Tell your parents I said so. So, but they know. And I really, really love talking to you today. I think it's amazing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it as well.
Keep doing it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for sharing the time. Everybody go to Summer Adventures on Facebook and get more information.
Have a good one. Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks.
Bye.